Hi, loves. It's Shanda. How are you? And welcome to Shanda Says. Today's topic is all about fluffiness. And it's going to be interesting to read you guys' comments today. But I received an email recently from a young lady, and she's never been in love before that she thinks of until possibly now. And she asked me, how do you know when you're in love? And what does love feel like? And I have to tell you that it made me smile, number one, because to think of your first love and to think of what love truly is and what that feels like, for me, it's like a happiness thing. But it makes you go back to when you experience love for the first time. So, in giving an answer to her question, I'm going to go back to the first time I fell in love. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've probably only really been in love 3 times in my life. Like, really, really in love. And I would say a mature love only twice in my life. But I'll admit to you that my daughter's father was my teenage love. And for me, that was very intense. You know, that first love is that love that you experience rage, jealousy, for me, passion, possessiveness, that feeling of I need to speak to you all the time. I need to see you. I need to know where you're at all the time. I need to know where what you're doing, who you're with, and why were you talking to that girl, and were you looking at her? Young love comes with all that craziness. But as you get older and you learn from the mistakes of young love, you realize that, at least for me, I realized that in loving a man, for me, was allowing him to be himself and allowing him to have his freedom and allowing him to just be and supporting him in whatever that is. Um, but to get back to what love is and what love feels like, um, I don't know if love is describable oftentimes. I think it's like trying to explain an orgasm. It's just something you have to feel. It's just something that you know. And interestingly enough, I've always thought that as a woman for myself, I've always felt I tend to fall quickly. And that's not always a good thing. So over time I've learned to rein my emotions in. But for me, what love is and what it feels like sunshine. Like that warm feeling, like it's just beautiful. It's an intense feeling of protection. For me, an intense feeling of passion, because I have to be passionate about someone I'm in love with. Um, Trust, humility, um, warmth, fire, desire, um, truth. Being able to be my ultimate self and not being ashamed of that. Um, Trying to think what else. I think this too. I think when you make love to someone and sex can be great with someone, but when you're in love with that person and you're making love, to me there is a difference. There is a difference in that um, emotional and physical connection when you're in love. It's like your bodies are intertwined, your tongues, and everything is just so, it's just taken to another level because your heart, your mind, your body, everything, sometimes even soul, is involved. But to describe what love is, I often feel that it's just something that you just know. And For me, there have been times I've just woken up and said, oh, I think I'm in love with this man. I know it. I know that I'm in love with this person. And for me, it takes a lot for me to admit that I'm in love because, you know, maybe many of you guys are like this too. It's scary to admit to someone that you love them because it's very vulnerable. You're very vulnerable to be in love. And I think a lot of men take on, I'm always going to be a player, you know, I'm never going to go there. I don't do that. I don't do emotion. I think men are quick to say that because the right woman and falling in love makes him very vulnerable. It makes you very vulnerable. And to give over, and to give love is to give complete trust oftentimes. And I think that people struggle with trust and they back away from that and they're afraid of that and they don't know how to handle that. So it's easier to just run and not experience someone caring for you and someone loving you and opening up. But oh, we could go in so many avenues about love and what that means and what it feels like. For me, it's the most intense feeling in the world that there is to have. And it's the most blessed thing in the world to have somebody on this earth that loves you. And I think the greatest feeling too is giving love because even if it's not returned, I think it feels awful when it's not returned. But I think that it's the purest form of emotion. And you can't be wrong for that. That's a gift and that's from God to me, is to love someone. So, sweetheart, to answer your question, I don't know if there's just a right way to describe it. It's just a feeling. And you just know. You just know. So, guys, in your comments, leave me what you think love is. And how did you know you were in love? And if you're not in love, do you miss being in love? And what does love mean to you? Real quick, I want to say this from someone who's been through things. In closing, finding the right person for your life and that person that you're going to hopefully one day or have a long-term relationship with or a marriage. What you define love to be for you, you want someone who mirrors that or closely mirrors that because oftentimes we may fall in love with someone who doesn't look at love the way that we do. And we think that they're wrong and they think that we're wrong. But it could be just their capacity to love is one thing and your capacity to love is something else. So you want to be with someone who mirrors your sentiments about what love is. Okay? So that's a whole other topic and we'll discuss that at another time. And you know I love you guys. Give me a kiss. Mwah. And we'll talk soon. I'll be back for the pink room. We'll talk sex. And have a good night. God bless you. Bye-bye.